like that saw.
Yeah.
This is 86 cc's. It's Scotty Wilson's 86er. It's his number 2. He's got my number 1 back right now. Again, I think we're into some stock chain here. Lukey, I don't think there's anything been done to this. It's out of the box EXL. Looks like there's been a raker tickle out of the box, which probably makes sense. I don't like how they cut out of the box. I don't like how any chain cuts out of the box. Been a while. I'm gonna turn the decomp off. It pulls fuel better with the decomp off. Friends, I don't claim to be nothing, but I've run a lot of power saws, especially hot rod saws. You don't want to just hold them pinned to the boards all day long. Those couple little on-offs in the big bucks, they could save your saw. Okay, friends, interjection time. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I pulled the plug in that saw the other day. After that job, actually, I come home and I pulled the plug. You know, it's been doing that idle up thing for a long time. Me and Scotty have been talking about it. As long as it's not damaging the saw, which it's not, or it probably would have been blown up by now. The plug was a smoky, light tan, just like right on the money. Anyways, regardless, this is my, I have about 3 or 4 saws that are like top notch for me. This is one of my favorite saws, if not right now, top of the heap. 4 pulls, 4 or 5 pulls maybe. You know, is it a little harder of a start than the 572? 100%. Different animal. Will it outcut the 572? Yes, it will. Well, it should. It's 86 cc's. So this is an 86 cc 365 or 372 or 371. Same carcass, right? So I got these gloves on because I'm working on something right now that I'm really excited to bring to you folks. And I am going to give you a sneak peek. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's really close, actually. And I've worked with all the boot companies out there now. The other 2 didn't work, unfortunately. And I'm glad that I've hooked up with Whites right now because we're working on something. They're taking a few suggestions. I'm taking a few suggestions. And I just got my boots just in time. And I'm wearing them to bunion. I'm wearing them to bunion. That's how good the fit was. But this is a different boot that maybe the younger generation is not aware of. It's nail bottom, friends. It's nail bottom boots. And the reason White's Boots builds nail bottom boots is because they've been around since the early 1900s. I'm going to do an extensive boot video, boot scooting video. It's coming up. You're going to enjoy it. You may be educated on some things that maybe you didn't know. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, how to work around break-in, how to order, how to size, because I've now worked with all the boot companies. And I'm excited, very excited to bring you some great information and perhaps a new product. Anyway, I'm super excited. This saw's nuts, 86 cc's, Scott Wilson. Brother, I love you. It's so fun to work with you, buddy. You're such a good dude. And you learned from a guy that has been doing this a long, long time. There he is right there. He just texted me. Got to go, friends. Back to the video. Enjoy. This is stock chain, remember, friends. This is stock EXL with a little sweep off the rakers. It's not even a ground chain.
Looky. So this is a brand new bar, Luke. Like not brand new, but this is my newest organ bar. They stopped making these a long time ago. Come on outside and I'll show you what I do sometimes. This is one of the last bars I bought. I remember it. I had it on a Mac 125. And it's bone straight. It's a 3/8 drive, obviously. But in our wood, you got this pitch and all this stuff. You'll see these lumberjack characters like Lentz, Jason Lentz, and all the boys that are doing the chopping. They squirt stuff on their axes. Well, it's that stuff right there. My buddy Jason Lentz, I've never met him. Well, I met him years ago, but still logger sports guy. Him and his dad have been at it forever. Nice guys, super nice guys. His dad's still working on chain for guys, like, you know, for their cutting. But Luke, I'm telling you, I got these bars when actually I got my accident. And I cherish them because they don't make them anymore. But that DGP, that like, you stick that in the wood, look at this, baby. And you see, these are so light, Luke. So, do you know what amazes me? Fallers, or anybody who runs a power saw for a very long time on a bar, you get what's called, I call them, it's a ditch. You get a ditch and you can feel rail sides on the side of your bar, and you have to grind it. I used to grind my bars a lot falling. Not anymore, friends. Not anymore. I don't grind bars, Luke. Have you seen me grind a bar? You've been with me now? No, I don't do it. It's rare. I don't know what these guys have done with that bar oil, but I'm telling you, I can speak to every aspect of it now. The wear part, I couldn't until about a year later. And I was, is this actually happening? Why am I not grinding my bars? I cherish these bars. They don't make them anymore. The next lightest bar is the Still Lightweights. I was running them steady right there. I got a bunch of them. The Still Lightweights. They're not cheap, friends. So there's a lightweight. There's a lightweight. There's a Canon. I love Canon. But they're not as light as these, friends. They're just not. I'd like to work with Canon and make an even lighter one. And you can see why it's not as light, because the size of the freaking aluminum in the middle is bigger. See that?
Oh, yeah.
See how it's thicker?
Yeah.
This piece here, but they make a solid bar. But I'll tell you, for a finesseful man and a man who's really up on his maintenance and up on his chain and his saws and all that, a guy like me, I love these. So I just finished maintaining my bars, and I hang them up. I got some chain to grind, and that's that. So that's what we do there. I love my Oregon lightweight. I don't have that many left. See you on the next video. Work hard, be honest, and be kind. Catch you on the next one.